ঠিক আছে আমি দেখছি দেখছি আমি
related to your entrepreneurship and related to your any conceptual knowledge discussed during this 5-day gap course. So now I would like to request Dr. Choi to just to take the seat on the stage. Also, I would like to request Dr. A. Mukhopadhyay to take the seat on the dash and myself. So feel free to ask any question. This is either you can discuss any topics, any means topics or the points related to this whole campus. Either for the technology, conceptual knowledge, entrepreneurship, industry related issues.
Sir, we came here. We have been looking forward for this course since quite a long time, and we had a wonderful learning over here. In spite of many industries which are there, manufacturing, filtration materials, still, what I feel we would like to know the areas where work needs to be done and it can be improved in Indian context where we are lagging and which are the domains which need to be further addressed. Because
Okay.
right now I think wherever work is being done is isolated, like media, all textile people are working on that, and industry they are working separately. So, like how we can take it further and which domains need further attention, where we are lagging.
So in my view, I mean you may find the lagging in many fields. If you see the liquid filtration, okay, because it is not the structure as I was discussing, structure has not got optimized structure. Are you getting my point? It is not optimized looking at all the performance viewpoint. Okay, something as in one of the slide I have shown you the variation in structure for similar application. You can get lot of variation in structure for similar application. So it indicates that it is not perfected. The structure has to be perfected for a certain application. Because in one of the slide today I had shown you for the same application there is a lot of variation in structure. Maybe their yarn linear density, your density among the threads. Okay, so that thing is there. Structure need to be perfected in any application. That is one of the area that we must look into, because many cases if something is performing then the people think that it is okay. Never think in terms of the output parameter, like this has to be standardized, energy has to be seen, filtration clarity is to be seen. So looking at all those aspects, one need to characterize the material, and need to characterize means the design optimization should be done accordingly. So that is one aspect. Another aspect is that one should go for new type of research. For example, the bio-inspired research that initially also I have discussed, bio-inspired research, so that also can be done. Research is also there in the area of nanotechnology. The melt-blown fiber is also used in various applications for liquid filtration as well. Although in air filtration it is used, for liquid filtration also melt-blown is used. And earlier time, particularly if you could find, there are two distinct divisions. For air filtration application, non-woven were extensively used. Okay, and for liquid filtration application, woven fabric and the derivative. Derivative means the duplex fabric, semi-duplex. So this kind of structures are also there. So there are two distinct areas that where we can make use of this kind of fabric. But if you see with the time, the popularity is also non-woven in the liquid filtration is also growing. The interest is also growing because you will get better clarity because each and every fiber take part in filtration, liquid filtration, because non-woven fiber you can have the discrete fiber, but in the case of woven fabric you are consolidating structure by means of twist. So each and individual fiber is taking part in filtration. So you can have better filtration clarity. But on the other hand, the negative aspect is that life could be relatively less because depth filtration will occur. Okay, the particle will penetrate at certain depth, so that will reduce the life of the material. So now the target should be that how to improve the life of the fabric. At the same point of time, we will get better filtration clarity by using the non-woven. So that sort of target should be there. Although the market are using, but as I am saying, there is no systematic approach as such for the development of woven fabric or non-woven fabric. Because non-woven fabric is this side is using, again that you can see the glass fabric is also being used long time in the case of air filtration application also. But over the glass fabric we are using the PTFE membrane so that fine particulate matter can be arrested, and PTFE fiber, because filament is having higher temperature, it can sustain higher temperature. Glass fabric is also can sustain high temperature. So for high temperature application, that material considered to be a good one, PTFE. But as I am giving you one of the example for Supreme non-woven, they are trying to replace the PTFE by some other filter media. So he suggested that which material can come close in terms of in terms of performance close to the PTFE, because PTFE membrane filter is performing best. So this sort of approach should be there at the industrial level also, and academic side. If one want to involve in a research, obviously their approach should be a systematic one, because then also only you will get some output of the result. Because industrial based research means it is always based on certain trial only. Okay, few trials, and from the few trials whatever they get, they used to say that this material performance is good. But there is no systematic approach as such in the industry. So that is why that academic or the researcher should take initiative for a systematic research, okay, to get into the, yes. And there are, as I've said, that there is many new areas, okay, like in the case of bio, that smart textile is also coming in picture, because pore size will automatically regulated, okay, in case of smart textile. Okay, so whenever the filtration takes place, so that way nanotechnology is also there in the development of filter media. So there are many scope, in fact, there are many scope, but once it is coming in the market, then only it is a real success. Lab scale is people are doing something. For example, the artificial kidney also I have discussed. In US also there is a work on artificial kidney. Okay, they are using 3D bioprinting and your you can say the tissue culture for the development of artificial kidney. But that was not yet succeeded till now, because the nephron is too complicated, complex structure. So the research will move, but the thing is that once it is getting marketed, once it is refined, then only you can say that this is a successful research. So academic research and research at various institutes, that must be penetrated in the industrial level also. Then that is the real success for the research.
Well, I'll give you some examples. Uh, in US, we normally call it consortium. Consortium, there are two big filtration. I can talk loud. There are two big consortia. One is at the University of Minnesota. The other one is the University of Akron. University of Akron, they are doing the liquid, and University of Minnesota, they are doing air. So the research direction comes from the consortium members. the consortium members are generally the big company in US. So it doesn't have to be big company, but somehow about 5 to 10 companies associated with the consortium, and each company give the research topic. Here, this is what we need to know. So the other company suggests a certain direction. So they normally vote which project gonna be priority number 1 and number 2. So it's really good relationship between industry and academic that way. So one thing that I don't like is pattern issue. Once it come up with a pattern, it's really complicated issue. Even though the consortium member, I don't think they can have all the right to do it. But anyway, it's good relationship. So research topic always comes from industry, not academia. I believe he need to organize consortium something. That's a really good way to associate with the industry along with academia.
There is some difference between, presently there is some difference between academia and industry, especially in India. But over the time, it will be reduced, and more coordination and more exchange of the knowledge, either from industry or from this academia.
No, actually one of the basic issue from the industry side is that they want to get the things very quickly, okay, and if they think that okay this may not succeed, because any research one cannot guarantee it from the very beginning that you will get 100% success. But if the industry always think in that perspective, if they get 100% success, then only they will go for that that particular type of research. Another point in the industrial Indian perspective is that it is they always go for certain visits abroad, and they used to see what type of material can give the relatively better performance. So they try to ask the manufacturer to replicate the exactly the same. That is the wrong approach to do any kind of systematic research. So that there is some problem in the Indian mindset, I can say.
Yes.
The mindset has to be changed in India. Wherever the research is going, the mindset of the person should be changed.
So in developed country, both this industries and academia both are on the same platform. All industries and academia both they are doing the work regarding the development of the industries in that country. But in
See,
India, our platform is different and industry platform. So anyway, I hope in India over the time this difference that will be reduced day by day, and
we want to add one point. We had been in a India-Australia bilateral project. So we visited Australia, and if you see the lab, all the lab infrastructure are being sponsored by industry. All the lab infrastructure, and that lab infrastructure is great. We may not find that sort of lab infrastructure in India. Okay, the faculty member who is working over there, sometimes he becomes the company manager, company working in the company, and also come back to the institute. Sometimes he is in the working in the industry. Both ways he moves. Okay, sometimes he is a part of the industry, sometimes he is a part of the institute. Okay, okay, but so that philosophy, that sort of philosophy will work. Actually, what it is required is that industry sponsored lab. That could be a good idea to have industry sponsored lab, and the faculty member can get the practical experience also. While the student is working, they can get also very good exposure by doing so. Real life situation. So that is a very good, you can say, ecosystem.
Normally you will find all the international publications, all are the sponsored by the industry. At the last of the paper, you will find the sponsorship. So almost all the paper, all the research that is sponsored by industries.
मेरा क्वेश्चन है EDFE, EBDFE और other जो membranes हैं, how much the difference in their cost? Cost ही तो बोल रहे हैं, but how much the cost?
What is the difference in cost as compared to EPT?
EDFE और दूसरा membrane है.
Good question.
Comparing with which manufacturing you mean? Is that the Melblon or
No, other membranes. He is asking about as compared to other membrane, what is the cost difference?
PVDF? The solution testing. Let's
Normal ETF versus ETF versus PDF versus any another membrane.
Yeah.
Membrane.
Okay, I understand. Let's say compare with the PVDF solvent testing process and then EPTFA. The certainly probably cost-wise about 3 times higher on the EPTFA compared with the solvent testing. That's rough estimation.
We have to buy 1 square meter of that membrane, square meter. What would be the probable cost in dollars?
It's hard to say it. As far as product is concerned, I believe the cost probably about the same because the EPTFA, the material itself, the weight-wise, really minimal. Cost is more likely a screen material is heavier than EPTFA. EPTFA probably is about, let's say, a weight percentage-wise, 0.1% weight. Yeah. Comparing with the total media. So EPTFA is not coming out pure EPTFA. It always with screen. The screen is quite special. Normally the screen is the bicomponent material, polypropylene or polyester with polyethylene. Polyethylene has to be there, otherwise you won't stick to the PTFE. So lamination cost is a little bit higher than any other material. That's why EPTFE price is higher. But comparing with the current membrane, that's only three times. That's my guess. Also, when you look at the same size, and then try to come up with some cost comparison, that's your question, right? To me, it's gonna be almost equal. That's guess. Because EPTFA is really small amount of that.
Sir, regarding the pollution, like the pollution board has given some standards,
Yes,
like
yes.
acceptable, non-acceptable. Like that, do we have some standards for the filter media, like what should we use for a particular type of filtration or something product? For BIS standard, they have something on filter media or BIS
Yes, yes.
standard is something.
BI is a general process for.
BI standard is
There are some protocols of also given by this pollution agency, pollution control board of each state, and also central pollution control board (CPC) regarding this regarding air pollution and also for the water pollution.
But for media, filter media that is being manufactured by textile industry, like some criteria is there that for a particular application, what should be the standard of the material, means what properties should be this much or so.
because it is not going in a right direction in some cases. Okay, although I don't know in this platform whether I can really.
Under process.
Okay.
Process product.
Because the see the point here is that in the case of filtration, if you specify the GSM, okay, GSM thickness, tensile strength, that way you cannot say that this fabric will be performing better. You need to test the filtration test. So that is required. Based on that only you can say that whether fabric will perform good or bad. Because sometimes the in other standard norms you will not find the structure of the material is getting specified. Okay, it is never in ASTM. Okay, in some of the standard they specify, but they never say about that what should be its GSM level or thickness or other material parameter. They never talk about that. But coming to the pollution level, sometime industry go for stricter norms, sometime the norms are not so much strict. Okay, that is there. Because suppose if I talk about the air pollution, I used to visit the Darlaghat quite often. If you see, they are running the cement industry, their norm is stricter than the government of India norms, because their residential area is in the same campus. So what they maintain, their norms is stricter than the government of India norms. And Indian norms in number of cases it is lightly on a lenient side if you compare with the other countries, developed countries. It is on a lenient side. Again, if you see the your PM 2.5, okay, in the case of air filtration, whether it is a serious or it is not so serious, in India it is something different. Their level is something different. Whenever we can say that it is coming on the serious health hazards, it can cause really serious health hazard. So, because that sort of pollutants are present, that's why they are already all the time it is present. That's why they have relaxed their norms. Are you getting my point? Otherwise, all the people may be getting afraid that it is much above the requirement. I mean, much above the specified norms. So that is there. Okay, because sometimes we are slacker. I mean, we are having lenient in terms of norms, and sometimes I mean the industry basically plays a vital role because, as I said, the certain cases they are having stricter norms as compared to whatever the norms is given in the industries.
In case of, as I said, no, European countries, I have seen, especially when you compare UK norms, it is like 80 micrograms per cc or PM2.5. Whereas in India, it is 60 micrograms per, it's like 3 times. But the issue is that in India, we cannot control that kind of stringent air quality. So
That
India has increased it as per our own demand. 60
Yes.
micrograms per cc. But in UK, it is 80. But generally, the AQI is like 2, 3, 5, something like that. So it depends on the country to country how we are managing it. As per the ISO, it should be 18 micrograms per cc. But in India, we have developed our own norms as 16.
as per the WHO guidelines, the discharge protocols of either air pollution or water pollution, almost all are the same all over the country. Question is कि industry, how industry is efficient to control the pollution, either water or air. That is a question. And in India, there is less control over this discharge. This pollution caused by the industry. Already protocols in terms of the air pollution and water pollution all are given.
See,
All are
water,
given, all are matching with all the other countries.
air and water, whenever going for stricter pollution control norm, it will becoming costly affair. That is the main aspect.
So that
Okay,
is
for
the cost of the production.
because see, if you see the air pollution also, if you are having electrostatic precipitator followed by back filter, then that can give you quite low, I mean the level of emission. But if you are having the electrostatic precipitator, that will add to the cost. But many developed countries, they are going for this dual mode of, okay, one is that electrostatic precipitator followed by that back filter for industrial pollution control I am talking about. But that become a very costly affair. Okay.
In Delhi, the largely air pollution drastically changed by this, reduced by this CNG gas. CNG gas based all the vehicles.
But still Delhi the pollution level is very high as compared. But
Well, I don't know it's good to say or not, but this is my feeling. The key issue is India infrastructure. Infrastructure is not there. Yesterday, we went to the pantry. When I come back, I have to take shower because once I touch my face, this is not in US, not at all something like that. So, wow, India, they need to have better infrastructure. And
And
so,
so it can be because of weather also. We have a different climate because of geographic conditions there. That's what factor would be up.
it's a government issue, not academic issue.
see again in the construction of building also, any sort of building that also can give rise to lot of pollution, because that there is no such as such mechanism to suppress that. But if you go to abroad, you will not find that sort of pollutants because of the making of construction, because there are several ways to arrest that. Okay, because net like structure and several ways to arrest that. But here you will see that open construction is there, and you can find lot of dust in the air.
And the other thing is that the soil are exposed in India much more than developed countries.
What?
Soil, our soil is much more exposed. Like you can see the mud, dust, but in
No, if you are having better greeneries, plantation and all these things, that can arrest a lot. Because one of the solution is obviously one should go for more plantation. That is one of the option, best option. Okay, plant can do lot of things. Again, it can remove the gases also from the air. It is not that, it also acts like a separator also. A fully grown plant can also, because it has been estimated that around 700 kg of dust can get separated by a fully grown tree in a year. Okay, because leaves are all act like a separator. Once the rains comes, obviously it will drain out to the soil.
So all plants are the lungs of this environment. Lungs of this environment.
So I want to say that what are the opportunities if somebody wants to start business in non-organic, what are the opportunities?
So you are from industry. So you just to tell the answers. What is the future of this, especially any entrepreneurship of this filter media, either water or air filter media in India. आप आके यहाँ बोल जाओ, थोड़ा सा लोगों को इंस्पिरेशन मिलेगा फॉर स्पेशली फॉर द न्यू entrepreneurs or any student they are thinking especially for the startup.
So, first things first, I'm from manufacturing. So, we manufacture with mainly the products are reflection as sir mentioned, and the elements also. Some of the elements we manufacture and some of them we import from China and South Korea. It's a different elements is a whole different product. So that follow-up question I was trying to ask you, KJ sir, that as compared to US, what should be your strategy in India as a startup? You want to start a new business as a startup. What should be your strategy for market acquisition and customer?
I have a clear answer. EPTFA.
It's already discussed, sir.
Yeah.
Probably we should
I'm
go
not joking. I'm not joking. That is really important. Really.
That's very costly, sir. That's very costly, sir. As an Indian consumer,
Yeah.
price is a very sensitive issue. We, as an Indian customer, a customer doesn't want to invest money. We want to purchase high quality products in cheap price. It's an Indian mindset.
Well,
How do we change that mindset?
I'm researcher. Yeah, you can buy, but there is no way you can innovate or improve the quality. You have to depend on the supplier. As a researcher like me, I hate it. You have to innovate. You have to make better than somebody else.
But sir, my question is still I'm confused for the answer. That you given us the product EPD. What I wanted to figure out is the strategy for the market acquisition and customer acquisition. What should be a strategy for that?
Oh, probably you have to buy the cheaper material from anywhere in the world, anywhere in the world.
So any students who are suppose thinking for any entrepreneurship or a startup in this, as a filter within media manufacturing.
I know, sir. Sir, what is the question? Sorry. Sir, क्या बोल रहे
हो गया So have you any question? So session is open to all of you for asking any question. Satinder, please.
Anything?
You are thinking for any startup in this industry, filter media manufacturing? Shivani, you are also having the background of chemical engineering, so you are the appropriate person for filter media manufacturing.
नहीं या तो छोड़ो अभी क्लोज करो if there is a no question.
It's
Sir, I
really
have
tough.
plans, but not right now. I have plans, some startup in the field of
Yes.
medical products, healthcare products. I was discussing before this also. Like, first we need to develop certain things so that we can come up with very good product at a reasonable price. So that's like some tricky things. And once you develop something, then it might lead to the higher cost. You try to manage cost, then there are some other parameters that comes in, especially for the business. So these are the parts that we need to fine tune to get the product which is needed by the market at a reasonable cost and Indian price. So in the medical field, I have seen like in personal healthcare products, like respiratory products, respiratory masks, and then some other products also. Um, I was thinking something else like in water purification also. If you can bring down the cost. Right now, how much we are spending in RO? It's like 5,000, 6,000 per year. So if you can increase the efficiency to filter, and sometimes what happens is we buy package like 1 year you pay for this. But if you can find out some way that that filter life can be extended, even if it is for 2 months, then we don't need to spend that much of money. Like, am I making sense? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just thinking in that way how we can increase the lifespan of the filter, and it should be given to the users. Like user will decide when to change my filter. Then we can reduce the cost of operation of this filter which we are using at home.
I get some ideas from the things that you have attended, the lectures that you have attended regarding this. Did you get some
Yes,
ideas
like now,
regarding that?
even I have seen that. So why should we spend? Like these people, like the companies, I'm not taking the names, but they are coming and they're changing the filter, even though we feel that that is not exhausted fully. So if like there is any kind of option that we can understand how much life it has been exhausted. If there is 20% of life exhausted, or like 80%, then 20% still remain there. Then you can use it for another 2 months, and then you can delay the process of getting that yearly maintenance. So
See,
that is
one my submission that you can have some smart technology, like if you whenever there will be end of life, because mostly we go for 6 months, after 6 months we change the cartridge. For example, in Jalandhar water is clean, we are going for after 1 year we change the cartridge. Okay, so there should be some indicator that can change the light or something. Smart technology,
That's already there in the systems. But the
but in our system it is not there. Probably in RO it is there.
that I'm using, it gives a signal.
Color
that
change.
Okay,
There
color
are some
change is there.
indicators.
Okay.
So I would like to just to add one information. On an average Indian family, they spend to 3 to 4 thousand rupees per year for changing this filter cartridges in their home used as a water purifier. So just to imagine the market of the India of this filter, water filter.
My opinion for filtration, sir, as compared to liquid filtration, Indians are not that aware of filtration. They choose air filter as a luxury product as compared to liquid filtration.
Plus, you need to be aware when you're talking about liquid filtration, you need to be aware about the hardness of water that you are using. Nobody checks that, and if simply you're using RO when you don't need a RO
Yeah,
actually.
need
that kind of awareness is
No,
also.
awareness is again the mindset. Mindset means if you are having the water contaminated, one can really see that water is contaminated. I don't want to drink that. But air is not particularly visible in most of the cases. But it is continuously damaging us. So that is a kind of slow poisoning. It is continuously damaging us without our notice.
that can only be done by the government when the part not any industries role.
Hmm.
Industry role would be to sell products to the site with government awareness.
Yes, yes.
Not be like
You are in which industry? What is the type of manufacturing?
we mainly deal in
Filtration
like,
product.
duplex and clear like
Okay, duplex. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
definitely
Hmm.
customers are Reliance and Naira. Those TV do business in Gujarat, specifically in Jamnagar.
Ah,
If we are doing membrane filtration,
membrane.
membrane, the membrane we are using, if we are thinking about the future aspect as well as the leakage loss issue, so what type of membrane should be designed for a research purpose? So what type of membrane should be designed so he can be used in the future aspects? The membranes we are using that can be used in the future aspect that can be degradable or biodegradable.
Talking about
Your
what
question?
materials should be used.
What type of membrane should be designed? Or what type of nanomaterial can be designed?
Is it,
Materials should be used.
Materials.
Yes,
And what type of material to be used in membrane filter?
yes.
No, that depends on the chemical nature of the fluid.
PTFE?
So there no PTFE is one aspect, but apart from PTFE, there are several other membranes. Like in one of the slide I have shown you, asymmetric membrane. Top side is something, okay. In the middle you are having some other layer, other component. At the bottom you are having polyester. But again, if you are having polyester, it is not inert to various chemicals, okay. So whatsoever you membrane you like, so that all depends on the chemical nature of the fluid. Temperature, chemical nature, that is also thermal property of the fabric, okay, chemical properties, sorry, thermal property of the fabric, chemical properties of the fabric, that matters a lot. Unnecessarily, people, why should one can go for the PTFE? Like the membrane, whatever I have shown you, that can be used for RO filtration, and RO filtration the temperature is not high. Particularly EPTFE is good when the temperature level is also high. So then the cost it will not matter much. But what I have shown you, asymmetric membrane which can be used in RO where the temperature level is moderate. Okay, don't have high level of temperature. So any membrane, so any polymer like PAN also can be used for making membrane. So can it be used for certain application? All that depends on the chemical nature of the liquid.
Basically, in case of filtration, it is purely a engineered product.
Yes, yes.
Based on for each industry, the material would be different.
Yes,
You may
yes.
not have a standard product which can be sold in the market.
So that's why the designing of the filter media is essential.
So continuation of your course also. In one case for the treatment, especially maybe a textile industry effort treatment, there are a lot of auxiliaries that come. So for that, as a chemical engineering point of view, when you use a filtration of the membrane as a membrane, but after this lecture I would take the thing, if you are using a membrane before that, you need to design about that filtration for other methods using experimental.
So that's right. That also I told that it should be not a single step process. Multi-step process will be always better. Like in air filtration also we go for pre-filtration, then another filtration, then HEPA filter will go for a last step. We don't go for HEPA filter immediately. So 2-3 steps, after 2-3 steps we go for HEPA filter. Similarly for that, I mean if there is water pollution, then also we should go for multiple steps, because the best, easy and best technique is the coagulation in the bath. Okay, flocculation technique, because that is the most cheapest option. So first step we can remove those, okay, then we can go for further subsequent parts.
I have a question. The consumer perspective, what are the parameters we should look before buying any water purifier or filter for outcome?
What, can you
What
please
is
repeat?
question? I don't know.
Sir, as consumer perspective, what are the parameters we should look before buying any filter for using in the home for water filter? Parameter as a consumer perspective.
As a consumer, parameter that related to use a filter for
There are multiple type of filters available in the market. We are seeing the arrow filter, their advertisement like that. But we as a customer or the consumer, we didn't know understanding the which is the better or like that.
So if it is for the water, you will have to check the quality of the water from some lab. From some lab, you will have to check the water quality. That is the best.
Even if we know the quality of water, then how do we know that which filter is going to be the best performing in this?
No, that is difficult. I mean, without testing, it is not easy to say that which filter will perform best. See, the point here is that, for example, if you talk about the water filtration, someone also come up, initially it was the cartridge, yarn cartridge. Okay. Now then the next innovation was the industry also want that why not use the spunless fabric, okay, wound package in that particular situation. Okay, they are also pushing their product in the market. Spunless product, okay, it is because that will be much cheaper, because spunless operation it will give you much lower cost, okay, and it can simply rotate it on, I mean it can be put on the drum surface. Okay, so cost wise it will be much lower as compared to the yarn cottage, because yarn you have to make the cottage. Now again you have to see as compared to this spun bonded, I mean what is the, I mean what sort of pollutant you can remove. Okay, so after testing only one can get the idea. Without testing, you don't know how many rounds you require. Okay, what should be the consolidation, what should be the GSM of pulseless fabric. Okay, each and everything needs some research. Then only you can say, okay, this fabric can supplement this one, or in place of this you can use pulseless fabric. Huh?
Sir, as a normal consumer, how we go for the test before buying?
No, that problem is there. See, that problem is there as a consumer. It is difficult. See, there you will not get, in this case, you will get nominal rating. Absolute rating not possible, because yarn cartridge, and also if you use the spunless fabric, you will get the nominal rating. That also I have discussed in the class. What do you mean by nominal rating? Absolute rating. Okay, nominal rating also you are, passing the larger particulates as well as smaller particulates matter through the fabrics. Okay, so unless and until it is tested, just like milk, unless and until it is tested, how we can say this one is better or that one is better? Testing is required.
Testing is required, but by knowing some parameters
So
like
on the basis, that's what I am saying. On the basis of saying that it is made out of cottage and by yarn, it will be better than spunless. So this way you cannot connect. As I said, that suppose the new non-woven fabric people have developed multi-layer non-woven, and the top side you can have finer fiber, bottom side you can have coarser fiber. You can propose that this one may perform better than the other, fabric, woven fabric. That has to be tested. Okay, then only one can say. If simply on the basis of it is used by this fabric, it will perform better by another one, you cannot say, cannot comment. No, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, because that is used for some other perspective, so that people, no, that sort of things is not there in the case of liquid filtration, because that is used because of some other idea that why N95 is required. Okay, because the human needs some protection. Okay, that is why N95. People also go for N99 also if you they need more protection. So it is based on some protection, and that is there in their. They think that way. But in liquid filtration application, no such standardization is there. You cannot say that it is. Rating is there. 5 micron rating. 5 micron rating means it will arrest the particles above 5 micron size. That rating is there. Okay, there you can go for absolute filter to acquire that particular rating. That sort of rating is possible. But so far my understanding is concerned, whatever the filter cartridges are there in the market, I don't think that they provide some rating. Whether I don't know whether they actually provide some rating, that I am having some doubt.
It means that the huge gap for establishing any rating system like that. Because as a normal consumer, they didn't know anything about the deep in the filtration.
Yes, sir.
Normally they go and buy the from the shop. The shops owners or the representative display.
So one can work in the rating. So that may be possible. One of the target area, one can think about that. Suppose if you say that 2 micron rating means above 2 micron particle, you are separating, absolute rating. That is possible. So one can suffix that. Okay, according to that, they can mention that our cartridge is in that, comes in that rating. Okay, rating means that is a good practice, because above that size it will arrest. Below that size it will allow. So how much size you are allowing? So that matters. Okay, if you allow only 2 micron particle, that is better than 5 micron particle.
So normal consumer means what? For the drinking water, for potable water?
Just like I going to buy.
So there are so many standards, and there are so many filter media, especially for the drinking water, for the RO, for the
Every product has a certification, that's okay. Because nobody can understand to see the certification also. Because inside, if we buy any cloth like that, we normally understand this is cotton cloth for the summer purpose. This is heavy weight like that, normal people understand. But in the case of the filter, any water filter like that for using the home, the normal people they go, they just normally see the advertisement or whatever the representative explain. Based on that they buy. But they need to know is suitable for that area, that water like that, the TDS and any other things I don't know. So how the normal people will understand.
So whatever I mentioned, that practice can be adopted. That could be little better than whatever is, because suppose is one is supplier, the RO supplier or whatever, they have their own cartridge system, they have their own setup. Okay, they always replace it by the another. We never go to market to purchase a separate cartridge to incorporate into the same system.
Previously also in the RO system there is no TDS system with that. So but because TDS is also reserved for the water, lower TDS also not good for us. So that's why the most
Okay,
of the
yes.
manufacturers they also use the TDS
gets better like that. They incorporate later. That is another thing.
What is key point of
another like one is to the micro.
I have hard time. Key point of
So cartage micron rating could be one of the better strategy. We can go for micron rating for the cartage. That could be one of the better strategy.
So water test results and the requirement both will decide the selection of cartridge. So any more questions? Any more questions? खत्म करे सर? हाँ?
Yeah.
Filter media manufacturing. Result. Arjun Sikka, you are the mechanical engineer. Have any question for this filter equipment, filter mechanism of filtration or no question.
Because throughout the course we have discussed about the several filtration system, okay, in detail, and also the media, about the media also, filter media, and several filtration systems have their own uniqueness, okay. For example, in the case of centrifugal force, centrifuge, okay, that is more used in your pharma industry, food processing, because it is in a closed environment, okay. We cannot have the dump filter like situation to remove the cake and all this. These are some of the additional things one need to see or study, okay. So each filtration system is having their own uniqueness, okay. That's why this exists. All the system exists because of their own uniqueness, okay. Sometimes the filtration that will occupy lot of space, that's why the tower type tire press is also there, okay. So sometimes belt press, dual press filter, you can see the huge size, okay. So space is also sometimes is the limitation. So different filtration system is at their own uniqueness. That's why in the liquid, particularly in the liquid filtration application, you will find lot of variation exists. That variation doesn't exist in air filtration area. Air filtration area is very narrow that way. But liquid filtration area you can find a vast number of systems there, or system is available. Okay, media is also very much different. Vast number of medias are also there. Okay, lot of differences is there based on the kind of application, because kind of application is also wildly different. If we talk about the air is only one system we talk about. Whenever we talk about the air is only one single system. But whenever we talk about the liquid is having lot of different system, oil, water, and every time milk, okay, colloids, okay. So there are a lot of things are involved in a liquid. So system is very diversified, okay, wide, okay. So that we need to understand. It is that is why air filtration is much simpler, okay, and the liquid filtration is much complex. So depending on the particular end use, one need to study first that which will work best. Whether other things also can work, because few of my slide also you'll find that which type of system is better in certain application and what is the reason for that. Because I have not been able to go through each and every slide that way, because that matter will be with you, so you can go through just to see that which system. Because once you are in the business, suppose you are talking about business, one need to study, one need to go for a groundwork, which type of setup will be the best, okay. Before that we must know the type of fluid, okay, particulate, that is the normal thing, okay, thermal properties, okay, everything you need to study.
You will find the answer of all the questions, especially in the PPT of Dr. Mukhopadhyay, regarding designing of filter media, selection of filter media, and all the information about the filter cut.
well, a liquid area, whatever you like to design it, important thing is experimental data. That is quite important. Without having experimental data, you cannot design it, which means you cannot improve the product. So if you like to improve or if you like to improve your filtration system itself, somehow you have to think of how to do the test. So the more the data, filtration data, the better. To everywhere filtration, especially liquid filtration. So testing, small uh, scale testing. So probably, I don't know whether it's only researcher like me, but I think it's really important concept.
I think now we can close. Hmm. Okay, so I think now we can close if there is no question.
So cartridge and filter, liquid filter, that is more costly and complex than this air filter.
Yes, it is. And the choice of
And quality of especially all the beverages products, oil products, and especially the automobile, they play a significant role for the quality, for the
Okay.
purpose.
Okay, then what is next now?
Exam.
Examination.
So any
Okay.
question from our
नहीं नहीं हो
participants?
गया बोल दिया